pre-video granola bar. What's up there? Oh yeah, let's go.
Join the team.
Hey, theMCGuiRE Review, and today we're going to take a look at a newish product. You may have heard of it. It's called the Ultimate Game Master Screen. Now, this is a partnership from Forged Gaming as well as Realmsmith. So they partnered up here on this particular product. It was a crowd-funded deal, so this was a Kickstarter. And I did get mine some time ago. This was not sent to the channel. I want to make sure, I've always done this, just kind of calling out the whole, like, what comes to the channel that is not of cost out of my pocket and what I do purchase. I did purchase this. I backed this. This was the offering that I backed and purchased. These dice, I did not. We'll talk about those in a minute. And this is essentially a DM screen, I would say system. I wouldn't just call it like a DM screen. It's really an entire system. You can buy a number of accessories for it. And I think what I wanted to do was really just showcase what was delivered through the crowdfunding campaign and what you ultimately got in production, which I think, you know, I'm just going to say, I think they did a pretty good job with what the final delivery was. And I was really impressed right off the bat kind of with the actual packaging and the marketing of the product as well. So let's just get right in and I'll start to show you this. As we go through this, Bear will definitely be doing some side-by-side cam work, so be watching for that. Bear, let's make sure we stay on top of it this time. Okay, what you're going to find here right off the bat is there's a number of different colors that these screens come in. I got the brown because I just felt like naturally the brown just looked a little bit more like a classic leather. And I'm really pleased with how that, it's not a real leather, obviously it's kind of a faux leather or fake leather material, but it came out really, really good the way that it looks. And it does really appear like a nice wrinkled up like actual leather. So I really like the way that it came out. So I went with brown. They do have a number of different colors. You can go to this website, the Ultimate Game Master website, and you can order them. I think they're doing free shipping right now during the time of this video. They have free shipping, and you'll see if you order one of these, they actually come in two different types of orientations. This is the portrait orientation. It is a 4-panel, but the portrait orientation is a little bit taller, and I like a little bit of a taller DM screen. That way players can't kind of see over my screen, and I can actually I like to set miniatures and various different things out, you know, on my, like behind my DM screen is usually like literally a just truckload of crap. I mean, I'll have like miniatures, I'll have like all kinds of stuff, and I want to have enough room for that, and I want the DM screen to be high enough that people can't just peer right over and get a look at various different miniatures or things that might be on the way for their adventure. There is also a landscape orientation where it's a little bit shorter, but it's much, you know, it's much wider, right? So some people kind of like that DM screen that sort of wraps all the way around them. That's what you'll get with that landscape mode. I just preferred the portrait mode, but I like the fact that you have that option when you go to buy it. Okay, now right off the bat, there is this little sleeve that's on there, which is really nice. I thought that was a nice little touch. Again, packaging doesn't always matter, but when they do packaging well, it does really kind of enhance the experience and enhance the product. It makes it feel like a little bit more of a premium product. It is in just a solid black case here, and then you do have the red sort of spotting here on the front that will kind of hit that light. Looks really cool right on the front of that. So it's definitely packaging that you're not just going to chuck, I wouldn't think. This is going to be a box and a package that you would use to carry your DM screen around in, and that's exactly what I would do. I'm not sure if I would always put it back in the sleeve, but maybe I would, just to kind of protect this this box a little bit. It's got a nice magnetic clasp here, so it's one of those type styles. Opens right up. And I'm going to show you, this is everything that I got from the Kickstarter, And I didn't go overboard. I basically just got the DM screen, whatever came with it. I think they threw in a couple of these extra little initiative trackers, or I'll show you what these do here in a second. So I got those. That's why I have 6 of them versus the standard 4. I believe that's how it was. I think they also threw in 4 extra magnets as well. So I have those. And I haven't opened those yet. I haven't had any need to just yet. So we'll take these off. All right. You're going to have, and this is essentially what you'll see when you unbox this. You're going to have this little sheet here. And I do keep that stuff just to kind of protect it. And then you're just going to have your DM screen that's going to be in this box. There is some nice foam padding in the box to protect the DM screen. And then there's going to be 3 different sets of magnetic. These are like little boards that you can put onto your DM screen. Okay, so we'll set this right over. Well, actually, we'll just put this right here. Put this right here. It'd be perfectly fine. It's not blocking bear. Everything is good. Okay. Let's take a sip. Oh, man. Today's video brought to you by Busch Light. For the farmers, I'm doing my part. You doing yours? No. This video is not sponsored by Busch Light. But I have been enjoying these. So, okay. Let's get right into the DM screen here. You'll see what I mean when you can see this on the side-by-side cam. It's got this really nice sort of stamped pleather look to it. And this is why I felt like the brown probably worked the best, if that's sort of the look that you're going for, kind of that rustic leather kind of look, and that appealed more to me. So it's definitely the color that I thought looked the best. It also has a really nice inlay kind of stamp that's on the front of the DM screen as well as the back there. So you'll see the front and the back has got those stamps on it, which look really good. And then it's all held together. I mean, the whole thing is basically thin metal pieces that are wrapped in this, and that gives you the magnetic aspect of it. But it's got this nice little holder here on the side where I'll pull this off, and it's got little magnets on either side here, and that's how it kind of straps to the side and it holds in place. But you also notice there's 4 magnets inside. Now those you'll take off when you want to actually use it, and I'll just go ahead and pop those out of here, because I'll show you what those are for. And I like sort of the way that was stored there. So I'll set those to the side here. And they're not just standard little magnets, like they do have some look to them. It's got a real nice little like pinhole kind of look to it. You'll see it there on the side-by-side cam. So that's nice. And whenever you kind of see that they've done a little bit extra for anything, I like to kind of call that out. Okay. You also see that little logo there on the side as well on this, so that's got a good look to it. We'll set that aside. We'll use that here in a second. And then, it's your standard DM screen past that point once you open it up. But, hold up a second. Maybe it isn't so standard. So once you open it up, there's the size that you're going to get with the portrait, okay? And for me, I would kind of have it out about right there. That's probably good, right? That's a pretty good size. And you can also see that, like, I can still see the players, but they're not, you really don't have the ability to peer over the top of it. And that's why I really like the portrait, which is a little bit taller than the landscape. If I had the landscape, it would go out a little further, okay? But you are going to get a nice 4-panel with either one of those. Okay, and then the whole entire thing is magnetic. So that's where I'll show these things here, but that's where these magnets, these little tiny magnets, are going to come in to play here. If you have a piece of paper, or you have something that you want to show the players, let's say like a nice piece of artwork that you have printed out, or if you have a product from another company where they make the little maps or printouts or whatever, you can put that little piece of paper right there. And you can use that magnet. And it's a pretty strong magnet. It's not going to have a problem holding, a piece of paper or a little piece of canvas or whatever you want to put there. And you can just put it there and have your artwork hanging down so your players can see that. And that's really convenient. You can also do that on your side as well, on the DM side. You can use that to have a piece of paper or a little note and magnet whatever you want, wherever you want it on your screen. Okay, so I'll just stick those there for now. Okay, the other thing that I'll show you is these here, really nice. They have a nice little leather-esque type holder on them, and these do pop out. So you can pop this little piece out here and do like the little dry erase kind of markings on it, where you can write on there and then swipe that off. And what you can do is you can put like the players' names and the initiative orders, and you can use that to magnetize on your board like that. So that's how you would use that. You can either like pop it on the inside and have it facing out like that, or you can put it like that. It is only, the magnet's only on one side. It's on that back part there. It's a little bit thicker. So that's where your magnet's going to be. So it's up to you where you want to put it. I normally put it on the inside. That way it kind of keeps this open, specifically if I was hanging like artwork or different things that I was put on the outside of that. So I put these on the inside, and it's really nice. It's a nice way to do initiative. Now I will say, from a review perspective, am I using this every time I need initiative? Generally not, because I don't want to have to take each one of them off and like erase and because it's not my view, it's theirs. So I don't want to have to, for them, have to take it off every single time and like erase it and then put it back in with the number and erase it and put it back in with the number. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't take that long. It's usually for combats where I know this is going to be a little bit of a longer combat. Then I definitely would use this, and it would be worth that time to like take the 15 seconds or whatever to erase the numbers and put like put it on there for the initiative order. So it'd be really nice. The player would see their name, and then they would see their initiative order right here. And then I could write the same thing on the back side of this, where I could then see the initiative and the player order, and then also anything I might want to put on there, like perception values and things like that I might want to put there, just more for me, that I would need to have as I was running that various different encounter. So that's how these are going to work. And I do like that. I think it's a nice little. I like these DM screens, and there's a number of them on the market that have stuff like this. And I do like that it has this ability to kind of do this. Okay, all right. So that's how these work. Pretty cool. All right. The other thing that I'll say is you've got all of these other magnets here, and these again you can just write on kind of dry erase sort of stuff, and you can put whatever you want on these. They're 3 different sizes. Other than that, they're pretty much exactly the same. They're just 3 different sizes, and you can write along there. And what's nice is you can put those right on your screen and kind of create your own setup of whatever information you need for that particular campaign. So now, let's say you run a D&D campaign, let's say you run a Pathfinder campaign, a Starfinder campaign, whatever. Take your pick of whatever you like the best that you're running. You now have the ability to kind of customize your DM screen with various different pieces of information that might be environmental, it might be for the characters, it might be for your NPCs, or the various region that you're in or visiting. And then you can set up kind of your own thing. And I left this one blank because I kind of wanted to give the example of, well, maybe these were more of my workable screens, and then here I had like some notes that I just, for the session that I magnetized on there, right? And then if I need more magnets, you can get more of these little magnets, which is probably one of the best add-ons to kind of the standard setup, is to probably get some more of these little magnets. You can use your own magnets too. You don't have to use these magnets if you have some of these rare earth magnets. I mean, sitting around, if you do miniature work and whatnot, you probably have some. They'll work the same way, right? If it's a magnet, it will stick to it. But these are pretty hefty magnets, and they look good. They have a good aesthetic to them. So might be something you want to pick up and add to it. The other thing that I will show you, and I'll move this magnet over to the side, is that this right here dubs also as a little, you could say a little dice tower, right? So You can kind of put it on there sideways, or you can just put it straight up on there. Just make sure you leave some room for the die to like kind of fall out. That's why, on the marketing materials you always kind of see it going sideways. That's fine. And then what you can do is you can set that up. Right, I'll turn this around. You can set that up, and then you can, from your side, do this kind of stuff, right? So now you got yourself a little dice tower back there behind your screen. Now, I am a big one. I do prefer to just hand roll my dice, but every once in a while, and I always like to have a very small dice tower, generally back behind my screen. Every once in a while, and it depends on what I don't know, maybe I'm just weird about this, but it depends on what the scenario is, or like kind of the situation of what's going on. I like to leave it up to the board, right? Like leave it up to the screen or the game. And that's when I'll use something like that. And it's really nice to have that ability to just, and it's part of the solution, right? Which is what I like. I'm big on these reviews when it's stuff where companies figure out how to design things where all the pieces of what's being used, even if it's the box sometimes, it's all being used in this like super creative way. And they're being very innovative with how they design the product, that every little piece can be used and it's functional, right? Versus just like random stuff. So they could have designed some kind of like little strap or some little random thing that went here that was like, oh, okay, once it came off, it's like, all right, throw this in the box. But I think this was a really smart move of using this thing to actually be another functional piece that comes right with the DM screen. And that is a very, very functional piece. Okay, just like any review, I'm going to have to call out some things that are from a review perspective as well. So when you look at this DM screen, I think it's very high quality. I love the fact that they did these little metal corner brackets. It really protects the screen. It keeps it bound, right? It's gonna keep up through time. It's got that metal, like it's a hefty screen. I don't have any fear with this thing being a problem of like falling apart over time. This is going to last. This is going to last the test of time, I believe. And these little corner parts are nice, but the problem with these, specifically on the bottom side, is if you're on a nice high quality wooden table and you start taking this and like moving this around and like scraping this across the table, you could potentially scratch the top of your table because these are pieces of metal, especially if there's any type of manufacturing defect at all where there's like a little tiny burr or it's not like perfectly clasped together and it's kind of sticking out a little bit. You could literally just scrape right across the top of your wooden table. So that's something that I do want to call out as, if you're using this, you want to be careful. I have kind of tested it a little bit. I mean, let's see if you can hear this, right? Now, I'm on a pretty high quality table that's got a pretty high quality coating on it. So that's not scratching my table, what I just did. But if I put any weight on that and did that, it would absolutely nick and scratch the top of the table. So just want to be careful about that. I would say that from a review perspective. I think the only way that they could have done something to correct that would have been a very, very thin rubber layer that would have been just on the bottom piece of this metal piece on the very bottom. But then again, I don't know if that would have stayed, gone the test of time. Would it have ripped off? It would have had to have been some kind of like rubber coating, not like a rubber piece that was stuck on there. It would have had to have been like sprayed and manufactured almost like a coating that would have been sprayed on the bottom and just the very, very bottom of that piece to give it that cushion. So if you were sliding it across something that it could scratch, that it would never scratch it. Okay. It's a review piece that I'll call out because this is a review channel. And it's really, quite frankly, the only thing that I can really find with this particular DM screen that I have any issues with. And again, you will see there's the 1 and the 2 logos here. These panels do not have it. It's just these 2 here. And you can see how nice it looks. And it looks really cool when you get the artwork hanging on it and everything else. So I am very pleased. I'm very pleased with this DM screen. Very happy with it. I think it was a really good production quality deliverable. I've used it now a number of times. I've always been happy with it. Okay, team, and that's really it for this one. Again, it is the Ultimate Game Master screen, and it is a partnership between Forged Gaming and Realmsmith, but they really, I believe, have kind of created their own brand here or with this Ultimate Game screen. They do have a website. You'll be able to find the link in the description below. And you can check it out and see if it's something that you might want to invest in and get. I think it's a pretty good buy. With that, team, keep rolling them crits. This has been the McGuire Review, and we'll see you next time.